You're here because you want to get smart, fast, and without feeling totally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You're looking to build real skills, and that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're diving into this really powerful idea, how tiny, consistent habits can create surprisingly big results.
Right. Especially for something like learning a language like English.
Exactly.
And we're drawing on some great advice today from Daily English Talks with Sophie.
Okay.
She offers some really smart, practical ways to weave English practice into your daily life.
So it just becomes like part of what you do.
Precisely. Not just another task on the to-do list, you know.
Yeah, okay. So our mission here is to pull out those specific manageable techniques.
Things you can actually use.
Right, no matter how busy you are. It's
Yeah.
all about making progress through regular small efforts.
Not trying to cram everything in at once.
Forget the cramming.
Yeah.
Think of it like building a strong foundation, brick by tiny brick.
And what's really valuable about Sophie's approach, I think, is that it's grounded in, well, everyday life.
Yeah.
She emphasizes you don't need hours of dedicated study time.
That's a relief for many people, I bet.
For sure. It's more about finding those little moments, those pockets of time, and getting creative.
Okay, let's get into it then. So the core idea, it's these small, consistent actions adding up.
Yeah, that's the heart of it.
It's easy to think you need, like, huge chunks of time blocked out.
Right. But Sophie shares this really interesting example about a guy named Leo.
Oh, yeah. What did Leo do?
Well, what's fascinating is how he just wove English into things he was already doing.
Okay. So he didn't magically find an extra hour.
No, not at all. He started listening to English songs, while getting ready in the morning.
Simple enough.
And then English podcasts on his commute.
Makes sense.
And then in the evening, he just spent a few minutes writing really simple sentences about his day.
Wow. And what happened?
Well, after just 3 months, apparently, he noticed a real jump in his confidence and skills.
See, that really shows how powerful it can be when you link language learning to habits you already have.
Exactly. It becomes less of a chore.
Yeah, and more just part of your day.
This whole idea of connecting English to existing routines is, well, it's just smart. Sophie gives some very practical examples.
Like what?
Like, just whispering what you're doing in English while making coffee.
Whispering.
Yeah. Just saying quietly, I'm pouring water or I'm adding milk.
Okay, that sounds almost too simple.
I know, right? But it's a really gentle way to start thinking in English without any pressure. It's sort of like habit stacking.
Habit stacking, right.
Yeah.
Attaching the new thing to something you already do.
Makes it much more likely to stick.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And she mentions her friend, Mr. Patel, a retired engineer.
Oh, yeah, the reading habit.
He reads short English articles every day. Keeps his mind active, gives him stuff to talk about.
And he does that little writing exercise too, right?
Yeah, just writes 3 sentences about documentaries he watches.
See? It's about letting English live in your day.
Not locking it inside a textbook.
Exactly. Don't lock it away. Let it out.
It's interesting she points to mornings, too, as a good time for learning.
Yeah, your mind is often, a bit clearer, more receptive, maybe.
Makes sense.
Her example was listening to podcasts while making a smoothie. Even just those few minutes can be really valuable.
Okay, so we've got listening, reading, weaving it into routines. What about speaking? That's often the big hurdle.
It really is. Yeah, people feel self-conscious.
So what does Sophie suggest?
Well, she offers this really accessible technique. Just talk to yourself in English.
Talk to yourself.
Yeah, narrate what you're doing. Like, I'm organizing my desk or I'm washing the dishes.
Might feel a bit strange at first, I guess.
Probably. But she says it's incredibly effective for practicing sentence structure without any fear of judgment.
Right, no one's listening.
Exactly. And it's a form of active recall, helps cement what you know, and shows you where the gaps are.
That makes sense. And there was another example, Olivia.
Oh, Olivia. Yeah. She created these little English moments throughout her day.
English moments, I like that.
Yeah. Like listening to news at lunch, reading a short story after work, writing a quick diary entry before bed. Just small, intentional things.
And that helped her with her English exam.
Apparently, yeah. It shows how these little engagements really add up.
So it's not just about passive listening. You need some active goals, too.
Absolutely. Setting small, achievable goals is key. Sophie suggests something really simple, like learning 3 new words a day.
3 words. That feels totally doable, doesn't it?
Right. And she gives the example of learning, say, the word grateful
Okay.
And then immediately using it, I feel grateful for this sunny day.
So you use it right away to make it stick.
Exactly. That immediate application helps lock it in.
And I guess these little wins, they build momentum.
Totally. Each little success makes you feel good, encourages you to keep going.
Keeps you motivated.
Which is crucial. Sophie shares the story of Mike, a busy dad.
Okay, how does a busy dad fit it in?
His plan is super simple. Listen to a 5-minute story at breakfast.
5 minutes, right?
Read something short at lunch, maybe an article. And then speak some English with his wife after dinner.
Wow, that's it.
That's it. Simple, but consistent. Every day.
That really shows it doesn't have to be complicated.
Not at all.
And it's not just about adding new activities either, right? She talks about mental shifts.
Yeah, like trying to think in English when you're planning your day.
So instead of thinking in your native language?
Right. Just try a simple English sentence in your head like, okay, tomorrow I have that meeting at 10 a.m.
Little mental exercises.
Exactly. They can gradually make English feel more, well, natural, more intuitive.
And the writing thing, again, even super simple stuff.
Yeah, she really emphasizes the value of simple daily writing, just a sentence or two.
Like what?
Today, I went shopping. I bought fresh apples. That's it.
Just getting comfortable putting words down.
Getting comfortable expressing yourself, even in basic ways.
Okay, but let's be real. What about mistakes? People worry a lot about making mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge barrier. But Sophie tackles this head on.
Good. What does she say?
She basically says, relax. Mistakes are totally normal. They're actually an essential part of learning.
You have to make them to learn.
Pretty much. She even tells this funny story about her cousin Arjun, who, completely blanked on the word fork at dinner.
Happens to the best of us.
Right. But the point is, those moments, even if they feel awkward, they often help you remember the right word later. They stick in your mind.
That really does take the pressure off. That's so important.
Definitely.
She also mentions passive learning, like just having English audio on.
Yeah, playing simple English audio in the background while you're relaxing or doing chores.
Does that actually do anything?
Well, look, active engagement is crucial for real progress, no doubt. Right.
But there's still value in that passive exposure. Your brain is picking up the sounds, the rhythm, the flow of the language, even if you're not consciously focusing.
Okay, so it can't hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then she suggests taking it a step further, sending short English voice notes to friends.
Ooh, that's a good one. Low-pressure speaking practice.
Yeah. Her example was something like, "Good morning, I'm planning to study for 15 minutes. What about you?"
Super simple, conversational. I like that.
And of course, using tech. We can't forget that.
Right, like apps.
Yeah, dictionary apps. She recommends making it a habit to just look up one new word each day. Her friend Noah apparently finds this really helpful.
1 word a day. Again, small, manageable.
It's all about using the tools you have easily available, making it accessible.
Okay. And the last piece seems to be about attitude, like positive reinforcement.
Yes. So important for staying motivated.
Yeah.
Acknowledging your wins, even the tiny ones.
How so?
Maybe just, mentally patting yourself on the back for learning a new phrase. Or actually clapping. She mentions that, right?
Yeah, or clapping. Or giving yourself a small reward for doing your writing exercise. Whatever works for you.
Just reinforcing those positive habits.
Makes the whole process more enjoyable, less like a slog.
So if we boil it all down, the key takeaway really is, it's not about being perfect now.
Not at all. It's about the consistent effort, those small daily steps.
And gradually build your skills and, importantly, your confidence over time.
Absolutely. And as Sophie points out, just by, listening to something like this deep dive,
you're already taking a step.
You're already engaging, already making progress. It's about trusting that these small, regular efforts will lead somewhere significant.
You'll look back later and be surprised.
Exactly. You'll realize how naturally you're starting to use English.
Okay, so as you're listening and reflecting on all this, here's something to think about. What is one tiny English habit you can realistically weave into your day, starting tomorrow?
Just one.
Yeah, think about those examples. Whispering while making tea. A 5-minute podcast. Learning one new word.
What's one small, doable thing you can commit to?
Find that one thing, something manageable to start building that consistency.